Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a concept that's really fundamental to efficient operations. Maybe not the flashiest topic out there, but absolutely crucial. Standard work.
Right.
We've gone through quite a bit of material for you, really trying to condense the key ideas about it, especially in industrial settings.
Yeah, the goal here is basically to give you a clear path to understanding what standard work is, why it matters so much, and, how it actually gets put into practice.
And what struck me immediately is that it's more than just rules on paper.
Exactly. It sounds a bit rigid, doesn't it? Standard. But it's actually about finding the best way and then making that the standard, at least for now.
That's the hook, isn't it? Not just telling people what to do, but collaboratively figuring out the best known way, documenting it, and this is the important bit, always looking to improve it.
Precisely. That continuous improvement piece is key.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts then. What exactly is standard work in practical terms?
Well, think of it as a really detailed blueprint for getting things done efficiently and consistently. It's huge in lean manufacturing, obviously.
So not just a quick checklist.
No, much more than that. It's a carefully designed workflow, really. It focuses intensely on finding the most effective, the most efficient, and critically, the safest way to perform any given task.
And our sources laid out some key components, right? What are those?
Yeah, absolutely. It breaks down into specifics like the exact sequence of activities a worker should follow. Then there's the timing, how long each part of the task should ideally take, which we call takt time sometimes.
Okay. Sequence, timing.
Right. And also the workstation layout, how things should be arranged for optimal flow. And of course the resources needed. Specific materials, the right tools, even the number of people required for the job.
And I picked up on the fact that this isn't just kept in someone's head. It needs to be written down, visible.
Absolutely vital. Standard work is almost always documented quite meticulously. And often it's displayed visually, right there at the workstation.
Charts or diagrams.
Exactly. Could be detailed instructions with pictures, could be layout diagrams, maybe even simple visual cues or checklists placed where you can easily see them while you're working. The whole point is clarity and accessibility for whoever is doing that job.
Which leads to the main goal, I suppose, ensuring consistency.
That's really the heart of it, making sure the task gets done the same optimal way every single time, no matter who the operator is on that particular day.
And that consistency, what does it deliver?
Well, that's where the big benefit to kick in. You see fewer errors, for one, productivity generally goes up, and you get predictable output, which is, absolutely essential for meeting customer demand and maintaining quality standards.
Now, we use the word standard, and sometimes that implies something static, inflexible. But the reading suggests otherwise.
That's a really important point. It's not meant to be rigid. Standard work is actually deeply connected to the idea of continuous improvement, Kaizen. So the standard represents the current best practice, the best way we know today. But it's designed to be a living document. It's constantly under review, ready to be updated when someone finds a better, safer, or faster way. It's dynamic, not set in stone.
And it seems like it covers more ground than just efficiency numbers, too.
Oh, definitely. The materials we looked at really stress this. It integrates safety procedures right into the steps. It's not an add-on. It builds in quality checks. And importantly, it recognizes that the operators doing the work are key to maintaining and even improving that standard.
So it actually empowers the workers. It doesn't just dictate to them.
That's the idea. By giving clear instructions and expectations, it actually gives operators more control and ownership over their work. And often they're involved in developing the standard in the first place.
Right.
And their feedback is crucial for refining it.
Yeah.
So it fosters responsibility and encourages them to, spot problems and suggest improvement.
Okay, that gives us a really solid picture of what it is. Let's shift gears a bit. Why is standard work considered so crucial? Why should organizations really focus on this?
Well, the impact can be pretty massive, honestly. First off, like we said, consistency and quality. That's huge. Uniform task performance means less variation, fewer mistakes.
Which leads to happier customers, presumably.
Exactly. Reliable, high-quality output. Then there's the boost in efficiency and productivity. By defining that best method and cutting out wasted steps, unnecessary movement, things like that.
Right, the lean principles.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You give operators a clear roadmap. They spend less time figuring things out or correcting errors and more time actually producing value. Output goes up.
And you mentioned safety being integrated.
Yes, and that's critical. Building safety rules into the standard work instructions is proactive. It helps protect people, reduces accidents, and avoids the disruptions that come with safety incidents. It's just part of how the job is done safely.
Okay, and this link to continuous improvement, that seems like a major reason to.
It's absolutely fundamental. You really can't improve systematically if you don't have a stable, documented process to start from. Standard work is that starting point.
The baseline.
The baseline, exactly. It lets you measure the effect of changes accurately. You can try something new and know if it's actually better than the established standard. It fuels innovation in a structured way.
And what about training, getting new people started?
Oh, it's invaluable for that.
Yeah.
Training and onboarding become much smoother and more effective. New hires, or even people moving to different roles, learn the correct, standardized way right from the beginning.
So everyone's on the same page, skill-wise.
Pretty much. It speeds up the learning curve and ensures a consistent level of competence across the team.
And finally, that empowerment point again. How does it work in practice?
Well, when you give operators clear instructions and clear expectations, they know exactly what success looks like for their task. They feel more confident and capable.
Less ambiguity.
Right. And because, ideally, they're involved in refining that standard, they feel a sense of ownership. They're not just cogs in the machine. They're active participants in making the process better. That's empowering.
Okay, it's definitely clear why it's important. So let's get practical. How does a company actually implement standard work? What are the steps?
Right, so the sources generally lay out a pretty logical sequence. Step one is basically figuring out where to start.
You can't do everything at once.
Exactly. You want to target processes that maybe are done really often, or ones where there's a lot of variation in how people do it currently, or tasks that are super critical for quality or safety. You look for the biggest potential gains.
Okay, identify the target process. Then what?
Step two is documentation, but documentation of the current state. You have to observe the process as it happens right now, really carefully.
Just watch and learn.
Watch, measure, record. Every step, how long each step takes, what tools are used, materials, the layout of the workspace. Get all that detail down. You need that baseline picture.
Got it. Capture the as.
Precisely. Then step three is where the analysis comes in. You take that documented process and you scrutinize it. Where's the waste?
Unnecessary movement. Waiting time.
All of that. Unneeded steps, awkward movements, inefficient layouts, maybe using the wrong tools. You identify all that waste and figure out how to eliminate it, making the process smoother, safer, more effective.
So improve it on paper first, based on the analysis.
Yes, design the better way. And then step four is developing the actual standard work instructions based on that improved process.
The documentation for the new way.
Right. And these instructions need to be super clear, concise, step-by-step. Visuals are really helpful here. Pictures, diagrams. You absolutely have to build in those safety warnings and quality checks right into the steps.
Visuals make sense for quick reference on the floor. Okay, instructions are written. What's next?
Step five, training. Everyone who performs that task needs to be trained on the new standard. This isn't just handing them the paper.
Needs to be more involved.
Yeah, usually some classroom time to explain the why behind the changes, the principles. But then, critically, hands-on practice at the workstation. They need to demonstrate they can do it according to the standard.
Practice makes perfect, or at least proficient. Okay, training's done.
Step six is implementation. Roll it out, put the new standard work into actual use. But crucially, you also start monitoring it immediately.
Tracking how it's going.
Exactly. You need metrics, things like cycle time, quality rates like defects, maybe tracking safety incidents related to that task. This data tells you if the standard is actually working as intended.
So it's not implement and walk away.
Definitely not. Which brings us to step 7, which is really an ongoing loop: review and improve.
Ah, the continuous part again?
Yes, you regularly look at the performance data. You actively get feedback from the operators. Using the standard, they often have the best insights. And based on that data and feedback, you make adjustments, you refine the standard. It's a cycle.
That really drives home that point about it being dynamic, a living thing.
It has to be. It's not a one-off project. It's a commitment to finding and maintaining the best way to work, and always being open to making it even better.
Okay, this has been incredibly clear. A great deep dive into standard work. To wrap things up, could you just summarize those core ideas one last time?
Sure. Essentially, standard work is about defining, documenting, and consistently following the best-known method for doing a task. The aims are pretty clear: boost efficiency, ensure consistency and quality, keep people safe, and, importantly, create a foundation for continuous improvement. It's about standardizing the current best so you can systematically make it even better tomorrow.
A perfect summary. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Even if you're not working on a manufacturing floor, how could these principles apply to your work or even just daily tasks?
Right.
Identifying the best way you know how to do something, maybe writing it down or creating a checklist, and then consciously looking for ways to trim waste or improve the outcome. What standard could you set for yourself to be more effective? It's a really versatile way of thinking.